Hey friends, Ash here with Gents. Hope that you're doing really well. We're talking about compliments today, specifically fragrances that surprise the heck out of me at how good they are at pulling compliments, at pulling attention. And it's not that these are the type of fragrances that you would think of as not compliment pullers. They're not divisive, they're not funky or weird. They're pretty easy to pull off. It's just some of these, I didn't realize how much they were going to crush it. That's how it goes. You don't really know until you wear something out and about. Sometimes something works so well, it just takes you by surprise. And that's what these did. So let's talk about it. Compliment pullers that caught me by surprise. All right, guys, we're kicking it off with a Paco Rabanne 1 million parfum. 1 million parfum. I don't even really like this stuff. Yeah, I didn't like it initially. I still don't really like it now. And yet, surprisingly, a lot of people out there do. Well, maybe it shouldn't be a surprise, but it is to me. So when this came out and I bought it and I tried it on, I was surprised, but for a different reason, because it has nothing to do with 1 million really. And yet it's 1 million parfum. You would think that it would be 1 million, but richer, more sophisticated, grown up with more depth, something like that, sweeter even, who knows? But you would think it would be a parfum version of 1 million, which is not what this is at all. This is actually kind of a salty, sunscreeny, leathery scent. Now, to be fair, the way that the fragrance is described is the way that the fragrance smells. The inspiration for the fragrance being sunscreen lotion that emptied out into a leather bag. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how it comes across, yeah. I'm not a huge fan of sunscreen type fragrances in general, whether we're talking designers, niche, whatever. It's not really my thing. As Austin Powers would say, not really my bag. And yet all kinds of people, when I have had this on, have thought it smells awesome. I don't know what it is. You would think this kind of salty solar accord of leather and sunscreen wouldn't work that well, but it does. So as much as I may not like it, a lot of people out there do. And if you're looking for compliments, that's the only thing you care about, 1 million parfum may actually be the biggest compliment puller in the 1 million line that you can currently buy. Next up, Viktor & Rolf Spice Bomb Infrared. Now, infrared I do like a lot more than 1 million parfum. And infrared I also like more than Night Vision Eau de Toilette. And I'd say also Night Vision Eau de Parfum probably too, but definitely the Eau de Toilette. And the whole idea with this fragrance is red, the color red. The note breakdown really pushes that home when you see cinnamon and saffron and red apple and pink pepper and a chili note as well, chili pepper and tobacco. But thankfully, Spice Bomb Infrared does take the spice and put it back into the bomb, because that's really what was missing with Night Vision. That, and it kind of smells like Invictus, which is an automatic demerit in my book. To be fair though, Spice Bomb Infrared you could think of as like a spicy fragrance for today's market, because it ain't the days of the original Spice Bomb anymore. I know it wasn't that long ago, but in the world of fragrance, that was like 2 lifetimes ago. So Spice Bomb Infrared, sweet, spicy, and dude, does it get attention. Surprisingly so. I mean, Spice Bomb Night Vision gets attention too, but I'm not gonna give too much props to that one. Infrared though, killer. Follow that up with Cavalli Womo Deep Desire, which is getting a little bit harder to find, but you still can pick it up. Consider this a warning. If you want it, get it, because reading the tea leaves, this is probably going away. Mandarin orange, cinnamon, saffron, and cashmere, some of the notes in this fragrance. This, a wonderful evening, fall, winter, date night kind of fragrance, and it is seductive and alluring and inviting and sexy. This one could go up against fragrances like the one Eau de Parfum from Dolce & Gabbana. It's not as well known as the Dolce & Gabbana, but this is right there with it. It is surprisingly great, which you could say about most of the Cavalli Womo line. So it makes sense that Cavalli would have all these hitters and then just go, get rid of it. We got a little TH Action Tommy Hilfiger Impact Intense. Spoken about this before. Ultimately, I don't think it matters, but the whole gimmick with this bottle is it has a little travel spray in the cap, but you only get the travel spray if you buy a 100 ml size. If you buy a 50 ml, you don't get it. Truthfully though, it's not a big deal. I think that the little travel size spray that they have in there is something like 4 milliliters or something. So who cares? Now, admittedly, Tommy Hilfiger does not have the greatest reputation as far as putting out high quality fragrances. They put out fragrances that you think of as TJ Maxx clearance bin fodder. That's really what they do. But when you think of Tommy Hilfiger, do you think of a fragrance that you would want to spend $65, $75, $85 on? No, of course not. Nobody does. If you're spending that much money, you're probably thinking Yves Saint Laurent, Christian Dior, at the bare minimum, something like Giorgio Armani, right? Impact Intense is one of the very few Hilfiger fragrances that I can say, you may want to just pick this up at retail if you can't find it discounted. Yeah, it's actually that good, surprisingly. It has shades of Parfums de Marly latent to it. It doesn't really smell directly one-to-one like latent, but it's in that style, that family of fragrances. Red apple, chestnut, cardamom, akigala wood, and cedar, some of the notes here. It absolutely crushes. This is the best Hilfiger that I've smelled in, I couldn't even tell you how long, honestly. And this one surprised me because, again, it's a Hilfiger. I thought it was gonna be forgettable, and then it turned out to be awesome, and people love it. After that, Missoni Wave. Yeah, Missoni Wave. This one has grown on me a lot. Now, this slots right in between Versace Pour Homme and Chanel Allure Homme Sport. That style of fragrance, similar to both of those, not as fresh and light as the Versace, not as creamy and potentially heavy as the Allure Homme Sport. It's a fantastic fresh fragrance. Great for summer, good for spring and early fall also. Love the presentation. Bottle looks slick, nice gradient, magnetic cap, a lot to love. So this is kind of like Hilfiger Impact Intense. I didn't expect this one to be as nice as it is. Didn't expect it to grow on me like it did, and didn't expect the attention that it pulls. But this stuff is surprisingly great. Now this next one I've gone over a bunch of times on the channel, so we're not gonna go into it too heavily. It's Azzaro The Most Wanted. This is the original The Most Wanted, not the new Parfum. I like this right from the get-go. As soon as I sprayed this on, I enjoyed it. It smells very pleasant, very nice, but it's grown on me tremendously, and the attention this pulls is out of control. Cardamom, toffee, vetiver, and vanilla, some of the notes in the fragrance. It's similar to some other things on the market, most specifically the Stronger With You line from Emporio Armani. So it's got that gourmand edge, and if you're familiar with Stronger With You, when you spray this on, you'll know what I'm talking about right away. It doesn't hide it. But if you're looking for something that in fall and winter, especially during the evening, is going to command attention, this will do it for you, surprisingly so. And that's one of those situations where the fragrance gets such good attention that it makes you just like it more. It makes you happier to spray it on. Now I want to throw it back a little bit to Carolina Herrera Chic for Men. Basically forgotten nowadays. People don't really talk about this anymore. Very cubic looking bottle here, including the atomizer. Everything is a square. Fairly inexpensive at discounters, and Carolina Herrera obviously doesn't really give a crap about Chic for Men. They're concentrating on bad boy to find out who the baddest boy truly is. And then occasionally they crap out a 212 or CH Men limited edition that usually kind of sucks. So even though Little Chic here didn't get all the love, it is still a surprisingly ultra versatile compliment pulling scent. It has watermelon, citrus, pepper, amber, and tonka as some of the notes in the fragrance, and that watermelon gives it a nice little twist, a nice little change of pace compared to some of the other versatile designer scents out there. Sadly overlooked, as I said, but if you're looking for a fragrance to switch things up a little bit that's not going to cost that much, that can pull positive attention and compliments with versatility to boot, Chic for Men. And that one was a surprise for me because a lot of people may consider it a little bit dated now. You know, it's not brand new or anything like that, obviously, but it still works really well. And then a Varvatos XX Indigo. This line, the XX line from Varvatos, generally doesn't get a whole bunch of love. Really any of them, frankly. This one though, I think smells awesome. Tried it first in the store, just as I was walking past the fragrance counter. I thought, man, it's really, really, really good. But a lot of people say it sucks, so it probably sucks. Then I got it in, I was second guessing myself, tried it again, wore it again. I like it a lot. Opening's really pleasant. Mint, lemon, cardamom in there, very attention grabbing. Not too youthful, but not overly mature either. Just a nice middle ground. Then you got vetiver and patchouli as it dries down with a nice masculine base. XX Indigo, really an attention grabbing fragrance that doesn't really get any love. And I know a lot of people don't maybe agree with the path that Varvatos took with their fragrances, but I think a lot of them are actually better than they get credit for. Talking about these more recent releases. Now another little cheapie for you here from Guess, Seductive Homme Blue. Look at the cap, it just does its own thing there. Guess is a fragrance house that has a surprisingly large number of fragrances that are not complete gutter trash, even though their price point would suggest that they are. When you got a house that you can consistently get their fragrances for about $15 or $20, and some of them are good, hey, that's a win in my book. But to be fair, they do also have some fragrances that are horrid, just nightmare fuel. But this one is good. This one has cardamom, pepper, cashmere, and marine notes as some of the notes in the fragrance. You would look at it and think it's very blue because the bottle is blue, the name is blue, and yet it's not fully blue. It's more like Guess's take on La Nuit de l'Homme. Yeah, kind of like that. I guess really you could think of it as a slightly freshened up La Nuit de l'Homme. Maybe it shouldn't be too much of a surprise that this does pull positive attention because it does have that similarity to La Nuit de l'Homme in the way that the cardamom comes across here. But when you're talking Guess, and you're talking a fragrance that again, you could probably find for $15, $20 some places, your expectations are not way up here as far as compliment factor goes. And yet this stuff works. Wrapping things up, we have Jean-Paul Gaultier, Lesbo, not the Le Parfum version. It's got bergamot, coconut, and tonka. So it's gonna give you a different flavor, a different flair, giving you that tropical coconut feeling. I was so-so on it when it came out, a little bit lukewarm, not in love with it, didn't hate it either, but not altogether dissimilar from the Most Wanted. As I wore it and I got attention, I started to think, not bad. Maybe I like you more than I thought. Maybe we can be buds. Now I'm still not head over heels in love with it. I kind of like the presentation. The little leaf covering the junk is a nice touch. You just draw even more attention to it. That's good. But as time has gone, I like the warmth and the sweetness underneath the coconut, which, as I said, gives it a different flavor, a different flair, a different feeling, a little bit of a unique touch to it. And I like it. I appreciate that. So there we go. That's going to wrap it up. 10 massive compliment magnets that surprised me for one reason or another. All right, guys, I'm going to head out. Thanks for hanging with me. Thanks for your support. Stay safe out there. I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys later.